Yo, what's going on? Nizian here, back with another GTA Online video for you guys. And in today's video, I am back on GTA Online showing you a tutorial on how you can get all of your stats maxed out on your GTA Online character. But before I get started into today's video, if you aren't new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification button to stay updated on this channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started into today's 2020 updated tutorial. So with stats being pretty important in GTA Online, especially for your character, just being good in general in the game, it'll help you out a lot with maxing out your stats. And starting right off with the first stat right here, which is stamina. So to get stamina to 100%, it'll come pretty normally when you're just playing GTA Online, running around, and that shouldn't be your number one priority to get your stat up, because it just will happen naturally and you don't really need to worry too much about it. So now moving on to the second stat, which we're talking about, is the shooting stat. Now the shooting stat is actually pretty longer to get compared to the stamina stat, but it is pretty natural as well. But to speed up the process a little bit, I recommend you guys to go into the shooting range. So I believe there's 2 or 3 different shooting range locations around Los Santos, one of them being in the middle of Los Santos right here. I'll be showing you the destination on the map on where to go to the shooting range. You can do this by yourself or with another player, but I recommend to do a couple of these drills enough to actually get your shooting stat max. It'll take you, I believe it's 30 minutes to an hour to complete this stat to get it to 100%, but it shouldn't be that hard as well. It's just a lot of time that you might be able to be taking to do the stat, but overall it's a very easy stat to do. And now let's go ahead and move on to the next stat, which we're going to be talking about, is strength. Now strength is one of the hardest stats to get maxed out, and which I recommend the fastest way to do this is you will need another friend. Now you get another friend or someone that you know. If you don't have anyone to play GTA Online with, leave your gamer tag down below description. Hopefully someone can help you out. Now what you do is you get one of your friends and make them sit inside any vehicle, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand outside the vehicle and start kicking and hitting the car with your feet or your hands. So make sure you don't have a melee weapon out, and all you need to do is just keep kicking at the car, and eventually after repeating this process for about 40 minutes to about an hour, you should have your strength maxed out to 100. Now this is a very tedious process, probably one of the longest and most tedious processes to get the stat to 100%, but your strength stat, in my opinion, is one of the most important stats to have. Now moving on to the stealth stat. Now the stealth stat is very easy to do. You can do this AFK. All you need to do is tie your controller down, click the L3 or the left stick button, or if you're on PC, hold down the control button, I believe, to go into stealth mode and just walk around in circles for 40 minutes. If you want to do this AFK, all you need to do is just tie your controller down with a rubber band or tape your left stick down, so you can just keep spinning around in circles and your stealth stat will be done right there. One of the most easier stats to get to 100% right there. Now moving on to the next stat, which is the flying stat. Now the flying stat is something that will take a little bit of time, but to make your process a little bit easier, I recommend going to the San Andreas Flight School, which is located in the Los Santos International Airport, which is on the bottom of the map as I marked on the screen right here. You guys probably know where the Los Santos International Airport is. You'll see a little airplane icon when you go near it, and that's where you're gonna have to go to the Los Santos Flight School. Now basically what it is a bunch of different little mini missions that you actually do make money off of as well. So after you complete this mission, you can still get some money in RP. You can get around 100 to 120, 150,000 by just completing these flight school objectives, as you can say. And it's only one person. You don't need a friend or anything to do this, and it's pretty fun as well if you haven't done it before. So just you could go ahead and do that, and at the end of that you should be at around 100 fully maxed stat on the flying right there. And now the next stat I'm going to be talking about is a driving stat. Now the driving stat, just like the stamina stat, should be coming to you naturally by just driving around in the game. But to make it much more easier, I recommend to do races with yourself or your friends, maybe online. If you guys want to host one, you just go into online jobs, play quick job, and I recommend doing stunt races, and they're much more fun. And if you can, try your best to do in the race, so try getting at least top 3 to get your driving stat up even faster. But if you're doing a race by just you and your friends, then you could try boosting off each other if you're trying to get to the driving stat to be max. Now guys, moving on to the final stat, well actually the second last stat, the last stat I'll be talking about a little bit later, but the lung capacity stat is something that is gonna take you around 30 minutes to complete, and you'll need to go into this specific location that I've marked on the screen. Now it's near the docks, so on the very bottom of the map, and you need to go to this specific location because you're gonna have to go to where there's like this little ledge right here, and you'll see this ladder. Now once you make it to this location right here, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to essentially run and dive off this little platform here until you go into the water. So you have to do that like a lot of times. So you dive into the water, and then what you have to do is, as you can see on the bottom left of the screen, your little light blue cursor is gonna keep going down until it goes and starts flashing pink, and that means you're running out of oxygen. So you just need to crawl right back up and then rinse and repeat the method. So you jump back in the water, wait until your health in the water goes down, and then climb up and jump off again and do it again over and over again. And it'll take around 30 minutes to do, but that's how you can get your lung capacity to 100%. Now, talking about the last stat right here, which is the mental state, I don't recommend getting your mental state up, as you can be put into a bad sport lobby because you're going to be blowing up vehicles and cars and whatever. But if you guys do want to get your mental stat up, all you need to do is you just have to keep killing and blowing up things, and eventually your mental state will go to 100%. But yeah guys, that's been it for today's 2020 tutorial on how you guys can get your stats up in GTA 5 Online. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to answer your questions. That's been it for today's video. It's been your boy Nizion. I'll be catching you guys in my next video. Goodbye.